Am I the only one who's noticed how rare cute concepts have become in K-pop lately? They have just quietly disappeared slowly, especially now that we've fully stepped into the 5th generation. It really feels like nobody is even trying cute anymore. And that's kind of crazy when you think about how much cute concepts used to dominate K-pop, because at one point, that was K-pop. K-pop was known for its bright visuals and fun concepts, but one of the biggest changes over time is how the classic cute concept has slowly faded out. Cute concepts really took off in the early 2010s. They existed before, but second and third gen girl groups made it a core part of K-pop. Groups like Girls' Generation, Wonder Girls, A-Pink, Oh My Girl, Twice, G-Friend, WJSN built their careers around it. Their music videos were full of bright colors, school uniforms, super catchy choruses, and simple choreography. When you think cute concept, the first thing that comes to your mind is Girls' Generation G. Almost all of Twice's early discography like Cherub, TT, What Is Love, Signal, and more. You think G-Friend's Me Gustas too. You think WJSN's Secret. This was the peak era of cute concepts. And it worked so well because it sold innocence, nostalgia, and accessibility. It made idols feel like approachable friends rather than distant celebrities. Plus, in places like Korea and Japan, aegyo is already a big part of the culture. So fans ate it up and companies kept feeding the demand. Also, on the topic of approachability and cute concepts, this was also the era where sasaeng behavior was at its peak. A topic that I hopefully plan on getting into in another video. By the mid-2010s and early 2020s, things started to shift. First, it got overdone. So many groups debuted with the same kind of concept, and it stopped feeling special. It became kind of predictable. Another issue was how limiting it could be. The cute concept also boxed the idols in. Now, I personally observed this especially with Twice. Once a group became associated with cuteness, it was difficult for them to transition to other styles without backlash. I remember how difficult it was for Twice in particular to transition out of the cute concept as they aged. They had one of the biggest male fan bases in K-pop back then, and when they aged out of the cute concept, they lost that fan base and had to and are still trying to rebuild a new one. Fans loved the idea of their idols being forever young, but realistically, idols grow up and so does the fan base. Idols are not 16 forever. Dressing up in school uniforms, singing about crushes and young puppy love doesn't hit the same when both the idols and the fans are in their late 20s. At some point, it even starts to feel forced. On top of that, audiences themselves were maturing. Songs with themes about heartbreak, independence, and real emotions or real-world issues eventually start becoming more appealing than songs about teenage crushes and empty metaphors. Sticking to overly innocent concepts started to feel a bit stagnant career-wise. At the same time, during the peak of cute concepts, other groups started trying different things, experimenting with darker or weirder concepts. Groups like Red Velvet stood out for their ability to switch between quirky red concepts and darker, more mature Velvet ones. Songs like Peekaboo and Psycho proved that you did not need bright, bubbly visuals to stand out. Because they never stuck to just one identity, they could go from something bright to something darker without it feeling out of place, which I guess is one of the reasons why they didn't have any issues moving out of the cute concept era. Then Dreamcatcher came in with something completely different. Horror themes, rock sound, dark and creepy visuals. It was a niche concept at first, but it stood out so much back then because no one else was doing it. I also don't think Dreamcatcher's concept is quite popular till now. And then there is the rise of Girl Crush. This is probably when the biggest shift happened. 2NE1 already introduced that kind of bold, confident energy years earlier. Their success showed that girl groups could thrive without leaning on innocence and bright visuals. Alongside the rise of Blackpink, every girl group started transitioning into the girl crush image. By the late 2010s and early 2020s, this style became the default. Once Blackpink blew up globally, that style became the standard. In this era of girl crush, you had ITZY pushing self-love, Idol building their identity around bold but controversial concepts, and Everglow going all in with powerful performances. At this point, it was clear that audiences were leaning more towards energy and attitude rather than sweetness. Even as girl crush and darker concepts took over, 4th Gen still had a few groups holding onto brighter concepts. STAYC had that teen fresh vibe. From Its 9 kept a youthful and fun sound, and Weekly got a lot of attention with their playful school concept, with After School being one of the biggest K-pop hits of that year. But the problem was, of course, longevity. Weekly eventually switched to a darker style after their momentum slowed, which honestly surprised a lot of people. I was also shocked to find out that the group who created After School now looks like this. Even STAYC, despite keeping a fresh image, began incorporating edgier elements into their songs. Cute and Bright was no longer enough to carry a group through multiple comebacks. They might get attention at first, but they are harder to maintain long-term in the current industry. Now that we've entered the 5th generation, the absence of cute concepts is even more stronger. Groups like Baby Monster, Kiss of Life, and Bad Villain debuted with confident or more mature images right from the start. Elite, who is one of the most successful rookies right now, leans more into a dreamy and elegant vibe. I won't really class Elite as a group in the cute concept because they are young. Like, their concept is like bright but doesn't fall under cute concept. It's more of like magical, dreamy, elegant. Heart to Heart have a nostalgic, dreamy concept, and Kiki leans into the weird core and chaotic Gen Z style. And JYP's global group Vicha, now Girl Set, which started out with a cute concept, has done a complete opposite rebrand. And it's not just girl groups. 5th Gen boy groups are not really doing the bright boyish concept either. They tend to go for calmer, trendier, or more polished styles, or just loud EDM noise music. There is no in-between in 5th Gen boy groups. It's either you're getting calm songs or you're getting loud noise music. What is interesting is that companies are not even testing cute anymore. It feels like they've collectively agreed that the concept no longer sells well enough to risk debuting a group around it. Which brings me to my next point. Another big reason cute concepts died out is money. Smaller K-pop companies especially cannot afford to take risks. They follow what is already working, and right now that is girl crush and more mature concepts because it guarantees at least some level of recognition. I mean, look at Kiss of Life. Before the whole controversy, when last did we see a group from a small company blow up so fast like this? Since girl crush and mature aesthetics dominate the charts, new groups debut with those styles almost by default. Cute also presents financial challenges for K-pop companies. The marketability of cute idols tends to drop as members get older, forcing agencies into expensive rebranding campaigns. In contrast, darker or elegant concepts age better and can adapt to different markets, which makes them more profitable in the long run. They also tend to appeal more to international audiences, which is where a lot of the money is right now. So from a business perspective, it is just safer to avoid cute entirely. The downside is that a lot of groups are starting to feel similar. K-pop used to be full of variety, but now there is definitely more overlap in concept and sound. Now, many groups look and sound very similar, especially with the 5th Gen boy groups. I feel like the 5th Gen girl groups are actually exploring more diversity. 5th Gen girl groups are a bit more diverse than the 4th Gen. The global expansion of K-pop played a massive role in the decline of cute concepts. Back in the early 2010s, cute worked beautifully in Korea and Japan, where the culture embraced Aegyo. But as K-pop set its sights on the West, the industry realized that the bubblegum brightness didn't always translate well overseas. Western audiences often prefer confidence, sex appeal, or edgy aesthetics in pop music. To appeal to this taste, agencies adjusted their strategies. That explains why even Twice, who practically defined the cute era, switched to more mature sounds to help them appeal to the global market. The push for international recognition meant cute had to be sacrificed in favor of concepts that aligned with global pop trends. So, is cute actually dead? Not completely. It still shows up sometimes in B-sides, small moments, or in retro-inspired comebacks that play on nostalgia. Every once in a while, a group might release a song that is bright and bubbly, but it is no longer the main focus. If anything, it would probably come back eventually, maybe in a reinvented form. Trends in K-pop are cyclical. What feels outdated now might return in a few years as refreshing once fans get tired of endless girl crush concepts. But I feel like when it does return, it probably will not look the same. It might feel more modern, a bit self-aware, or mixed with other styles. My final thoughts? The death of cute concepts is not really a death, it's more of an evolution. Cute used to dominate K-pop, but things changed. Oversaturation, aging idols and fans, shifting tastes, global influence and business decisions all pushed the industry in a different direction. Even so, cute still has a place in K-pop, as that was the identity of the genre at one point. And honestly, I would not be surprised if it makes a comeback someday, just in a new form.